Welcome back to On The Ball's YouTube channel. My name is Gabriel and this is Talking Points Interview. And in today's interview, I have a guest with me. This is Mr. Ricardo Daniels. Thank you so much for joining, Mr. Daniels.
Good morning.
And Mr. Daniels has ties to SAFA, the South African Football Association. But of course, it'll be better to hear from the man himself what exactly it is that he does. So, Ricardo, could you tell us what your official title is and what it is that you do?
Good morning to all the viewers. My name is Ricardo. I'm the HOD of SAFA Cape Town, of the coaching department and technical department. Basically, my role is based on education with the coaches, and then what we also do, we are also part with the technical department of SAFA Cape Town, where we do talent identification and so on. So we prepare the reasons with talent, raw talent from local LFAs. That is where we start to doing the grassroots.
Oh, excellent. And about your personal, let's dive into your personal history a little bit as well. What are some of the qualifications that you have, of course, leading up to your role where you are now as the HOD?
Yes. Okay. My personal, I'm finished school. I've done school. I am matriculate. At this point, I'm a businessman. Got my own company at this point. Football-wise, I have a level C. KFD license. That is my qualifications. I'm also part of the education department, which we are doing the restructuring of youth football in the Western Cape, and that becomes part of the SAFA National Bigger Picture with the Vision 2022 of our President Danny Jordan that he have put through. So yes, so I'm also the owner of a football club which play in the Matsepe, ABC Matsepe League. Which my club's name is Young Pirates. We do have a member structure of around about 300 kids with seniors. So yeah, that's me.
Incredible. And just touching on the youth structure that you mentioned just a few seconds ago, how exactly are you planning on changing the youth structure from what it's like now to what your vision for it is going to be?
Okay. For now, at this point, I'm sitting with a technical director that is working with me, which is Coach Bobby Salomo. And then we're having also the SAFA National restructuring that we have. It's me, the HOD from SAFA Cape Town. Then we're having the TD, which is Coach Bobby Salomo. And then we have the RTOs, which is from 4 people, 2 male and 2 females, because they are the RTOs, the regional technical officers. And then we're having LTOs, which is the LFA's technical officers. So what happened is our mandate is to create coaches that can coach players, kids. Lately, we're having last week we have a workshop, online workshop on workshop. So what we have discovered also at this point, that the need doesn't lay totally on the youth, but the need more lay on the coaches. Because why? You got so many coaches that can reach the youth. So we start to look and dig in it. How can we upgrade our coaches to make them more effective for the task to go to the youth? Because remember, I can only take 300 kids, but we're sitting with million kids outside there. Now for us to go for the millions, we need to look at, why not we look to the coaches? Because 100 coaches can make 10,000 kids, can work with 10,000 kids. So the workload, it is so much more that we are concentrating on the coaches, more on the coaches, because like at the end of the day, it's the coaches that are going to do the talent identification outside there, especially in your local LFAs, in your local LFAs and so on. So our goal for the youth is to improve our coaches, number one, because if we improve them, we improve the kids.
100%. I mean, as you mentioned, 100 coaches can work with 10,000 kids. But if there aren't 100 coaches, what happens to all those kids, especially the talented kids, in terms of football and development and getting better? So it does make a lot of sense. And it seems like you are taking up a lot along with the partners that you're working with, and being in your position, the head of the HOD, head of department, a businessman, you've got your own soccer club as well. Of course, you're going to need some organizational skills. How is it that you manage to keep on top of your work like this?
Yes, I have a good working committee that works with me. The appointment of Coach Bobby Salomo, which is also now is also part of the national technical, SAFA national technical team, which was also formed now. I think that was my plus when I appointed him as my TD, and also the RTOs, because why? I have the vision, I give the vision to them, and they need to implement it. That is as easy it is. So. Because last night we have finished with Martis at university with 3 weeks of online workshops, which my TD is actually fall on it. So he's doing it mostly in the RTOs and so on. So depending on the group that people that is surrounding you, that will accomplish what you want to accomplish. Because why, in our region, in SAFA Cape Town region, we're having a mandate as an HOD. How many coaches they want, what type of talent they want, how much we must, if we get for the reason coach and players, how many need to be selected, and etc. And so far for the past 2-3 years, we have done a great job. We have a lot of women football that is playing now for the under 17, under 20 women football for our national team from Western Cape. I think last year we were having nine under 20, under 17 girls. So the progress of what we're doing in terms of educating the coaches more than the players, bringing us more valuable and good players to the soccer field of trials when we have that type of trials.
And I like that you also mentioned or touched on women's football, because that's something that we really like to see and we like to see grow. And it looks like, particularly in South Africa as well, the women's football is growing at an exponential rate. Where do you think that we're going to see how far do you think we'll see women's football grow in the next 5 to 10 years from now?
Look, it's all about the message outside there. Point number one is also about the message outside there. The quicker and the better we can bring the message out to women, and especially to a tender age where kids is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, especially women, girls. And if we can capture them on that age, I think then, because why, it's not all that one netball, it's not all that one hockey, from a woman's side. But if we're gonna if we want to have a strong under 17 girls team in the Bayana in the national team, I think then we need to get to the under 9s, under 10 type of kids at school level, because that is why SAFA is the head of the schools, and we are pushing it because why we need our women to be back on the fields, because why if we're not gonna get it, we're going to lose our women in all departments, because there will be less coaches, women coaches. At that point, we have only one good, not even one, we have a lot of good quality coaches outside there, women coaches. And he's waiting patiently for the opportunity. But waiting for opportunity doesn't going to bring the opportunity. You must go out for the opportunity. In terms of going for your coaching license, doing this, doing that. So if you're not going to do that, then you're going to stuck as a woman. You're going to stuck. But we got big hopes for women football. We got big hopes. We believe that it's a time, as you said, 5, 10 years from now. I don't think we need to wait so long. I think women football going to explore more, especially now that the national team is now part of the CAF system, which is going to give better opportunity and going to make our Bayana team much better and much compatible. So yeah, I think women football will rise, and I got a lady that work in also in my department, Natalie Swartz, and she's working. So every year we're having one woman D license courses. We're trying to get a C license in for only women classes. Just before the lockdown, we have a full class of 40 women coaches, but because of lockdown, we're supposed to cancel it. And there's a lot of proud clubs that turns their attention now to women football. The likes of Hellenic. I mean, they are proud, producing a lot of Bafana players, male players, junior players. They have turned their attention now to women football. So I think women football in the next 5 years, 10 years, it will grow massive in South Africa.
We're hoping that it's interesting to watch. It's good to see as well, and of course, it's not just men who like to play football, like to watch. It's women as well. So, of course, giving them the opportunity to be involved is a fantastic thing, and it's something that we really do like to see. Which brings me now to my next question as well. Is you've mentioned quite a lot of things that you're working with, and I mentioned how it's difficult for you to juggle the work but of course, you have a lot of help as well to make it a little bit easier for you. But my next question is, there's of course certain functions that you do as an HOD. What would you say are some of the most important ones, and how is it that you would prioritize them over the course of a day or a week?
Oh, look, as I mentioned to you, I got a good working committee that works around me. I'm a person that surrounds me with the right people that want to work and that want to see youth from the streets and on the field. So, as I said to you, on a busy day will be mostly the talent identification system when we need to assemble a regional team. Because we are a region with 35 LFAs. We serve 125, 130,000 members in football. We have a youth structure from close to 50 to 60,000 youth structure kids that we play. So normally we're working from the age of the tender age of 12, 14, 16, and 18. That is our youth structure that we're working if we male and female. If we need to do talent, and that will probably work on 1 day or 2 days time. So now you must know that on one scouting of a trial, you will have roughly 1,000 of under 13 kids, another 1,000 of under 14 kids, and etc. And so goes on. But because of the federation that we are working in, we are with legends. The Western Province legend. We're having our coaches in our LFAs, that is our LTOs. We're having our B license coaches, our A license coaches that we use also to identify coach talent, raw talent. So then it is a story about having the venue, which the office will do renting the venues. I will make certain that I have enough scouts on the field, and then the job go on.
And sorry, please continue.
And then the second part will be probably when we're having coaching courses, which is I responsible also of, because before the course, it's a lot of admin, it's a lot of work that need to be done, but that we do. My office staff, I got a person that work in the office that do all the admin and all of those stuff. So he will get all the instruction from me, what to do, what to send, what to write, or I will send to him what I want and do the costing around it, which I will be part with the financial committee in terms of the costing and the stuff like that. So we are at our region, I think we are well advanced. If we need to do something, it is a ripple effect that everybody going to be part of it. It is like the coaching will be part, the youth will be part, the financial committee will be part, and the office will be part. So we have a good structure as SAFA under the leadership of our president, Mr. Bennett Bailey, which is he wanted to be like that, and there's no way that we can get away with it, because why we are organization that is structured wise, and if we do something, because you know, when you are structured, there's always ways to go back if you make a mistake.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
there's a mistake, you can just go back and say, okay, in this 20 lines, we have missed number 15 and number 16 and number 17, and that is the outcome of it. So we do sit with the structure that we have built ourselves. Yes.
Excellent. And when I interrupted, I apologize for that. I was actually going to touch on the coaching admin, which you did eventually answer. So a little patience on my side would have done me well. But on to the next question now. You touched on COVID-19 a little bit earlier, and how it's the women's side of things had to also be cancelled, and how it's interrupted. Now, my question basically was, how is it that you handle dealing with things that don't go according to plan, with COVID as a good example? How is it that you navigated all the work and the talent scouting that you had to do, and the coaching courses and whatnot, with COVID coming in the way this year as it did?
Okay. So what we have done, when COVID starts 6 months, 7 months back, something like that. When COVID started, I think it takes us as a coaching department and the school department from SAFA Cape Town. We have sat down for 2 weeks, and Coach Bobby Solomon, we have a book which is called the High Performance Book. What we have done, me and Coach and Lionel and our president, Mr. Bennett Bailey, what we have done, we have converted that book into a workshop, which we have converted into a class. And so what we have done, actually, we have changed actually history in Western Cape, and not only in Western Cape, because in the terms of the 6 months, we have serviced roughly around about 400 to 500 coaches, online workshops, which is not accredited workshop at this point. We are in the process of getting it accredited, the education department. So we was consistently busy. We never stopped educating our coaches. As I said, we have served, because of no football, we have served to edify our coaches. And I think our first was the role of the coach, which we bring the fatherhood and the coach also together, because we believe there's so many times that coaches just want to be there telling the kids, run 10 yards, 20 yards, do this drill, do that drill. But then again, they never saw the kid coming properly from home with there's no food. The essence of the kid properly is abused at home. That's the only time that he is properly away from that abusive. And you as a coach supposed to be the second house, a second father for that kid in a good way. So what we have done also in terms of talent identification, we have go back to our data, and we have upgraded our database in terms of the players that we have, because we remember kids have lost now they've lost a whole year because they cannot play anymore their age group. So now it is our responsibility to put them slowly into the new age group that they're going to be in. Like example, we're working with the under 12 boy and they need to play under 13. So now the under 13 boys will be recognized to be under 14 now. So gently we're going to move when everything is open. We will move the under 13s, under 14s, under 12s, under 14s, under 16, under 18s, gently into a different age group. And we have that plan in order. So once everything is open, we can go back to the field. And we're having from national in a calendar, because we'll be working with a calendar, with national calendar. They will tell us when there will be a competition in Joburg, in Randburg, wherever. Then we will start working. They do the same thing with the women football. As you said, Joburg have killed Vitas. We need to deal with it. I think our department was never stopping working. as I said to you, we will serve more than 400 people from overseas. I think 2 from Qatar, Dubai, coaches, Africa, Joburg, and we were sitting in a backside of the house, and we have designed it with this one company, and we have designed a system that works. At this point, we are teaching also the CAF instructors how to use the online system, because we are busy converting the DKFD license into an online system. Because we said to National, we want to continue with the online system, because we reach more and it is less expensive anymore. Because remember, you sit in your home, it costs you 500 megabytes to do one course, a night to do a session on the Zoom. So that is what we're doing, and we're still continuing. I think we're gonna have end of the month again another course with Teleface and with the CAF instructors.
Which sounds very promising, and I like that the answer to your questions directly leads me into my next question. It does make things a little bit easier. And you're speaking of a lot of improvements and trying to shift some ways that you're doing things. What would you say are some problems that you may have faced beforehand, perhaps in your department, which you're also looking similarly to improve and make it a lot easier, particularly for coaches, new coaches who are aspiring to be maybe professional coaches in future?
There's always a lack of communication in any department, because you got your own work, I got my work, and we got that type of thing. So when I want something, example, you said 10 o'clock, and then at the end of we starting at 10:30, So, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
That is always the type of problems that you all set in all departments, a lack of communication, information going slowly maybe. But with the new structure that we have enforced in SAFA Cape Town, there's no way that we will wait for information. If I want information, I send it to the relevant departments. They need to answer us. They need to answer us back in a short period of, let's say, 3 hours back, doesn't matter, or 4 hours maximum, and then we will take it from there. We manage our problems mostly, I think, with the expenses of coaching courses in classrooms. Normally a D license cost any reason close to 1,200 rand per coach, and that's for a normal D license. C license more or less 2,500 to 3,000, depending on the venue, food, and etc. But we are slowly busy trying to change it. If we do the online courses, it will be much more cheaper. It will probably only be the practical part of the course. The theory that we will do online, the practical we will do on the field. But that will really cut the cost of every course in that we need to do, because by now we can do the D license online, we can do a C license online, we can do the B license, and lately CAF also do the CAF license online. I think last year, just before the lockdown, they do the CAF license online. So we said, why not? If CAF is the leader of it, why can we not be it? And I think that this become the norm of our lifestyle. You sitting in Johannesburg and I'm sitting here in Cape Town, and we're having a meeting of 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's gonna be the norm of business. And you are safe, I'm safe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. That's 100%. And it's what you're mentioning and everything that you're speaking of. It does sound, like, as I said, very positive. And it looks like it steps in the right direction, and things that we really want to see, things that we want to hear. And of course, things that's positive for coaches and coaches who would like to get more qualifications and extend their experience and whatnot. So as our final question, I'd like to know, what is your vision for coaching and for SAFA as a whole in 10 years from now in South Africa? Women's football, youth football, what's the growth that you'd like to see, and what's your ideal vision in South Africa?
Okay, in my department, I probably have noch 2 years on my that I serve on this position, or 1 year, 2 years, something like that I serve on this position. To be honest with you, I think the most important part is the grassroots football coaches. It's the important part. Our local coaches I think in South Africa, we need to invest in our local football. We need to give the high performance that we have at a professional level and in a professional academies, and give that information downwards to our local footballers, local coaches. Reason why they are working with more players than the professionals. Remember, a professional club like Kaizer Chiefs have close to, they probably have under 13, under 14, under 15 in their academies. Roughly 50 players, 30 players per age group. That is what the professional team properly have. Let's say 50. So if you're taking it out now from 13, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Yeah, then they stop because by the 19 is gonna play the under 21s and stuff like that. So you're having now 50 times 5. You're gonna have plus your senior team is 35, 35 or something like that. So you're having professional teams that only look after amount of 200 or 100 kids of people, excluding the staff. So they got a more smaller group that they can look at. But where you're getting into the yellow phase, you're having this passionate old man that was playing, that is a hero in his yellow phase of in his community, you know. Maybe he didn't make, but he's 60 years old, but he's passionate about the game of football. But he still is in the small, in the old ways of doing coaching. While the coaching was extending to a faster rate. And I think if we educate those coaches and how to identify the good talent, then I think the professional teams will be better off in the good. Because why? I think Sundowns have signed one player for 5 years, 3 years on the 3 years, 3 or 4 years back, and I think the stats said he only played 5 times. You know how bad is that? He only played 5 times in 3 years at Sundowns. Is that what is the problem? Is it a lack of scouting? I said yes. That scouting people need to be chased away, because how can you sign a player, put them in, not even on the bench, and you only play 5 times for 3 years? I think that is totally unacceptable. Where does the problem come? It becomes by the word money. So I think for the 5-10 years, if I need to tell my vision, I think we need to educate our coaches on a lower level, and then from there we need to teach our players in the early stage of coaching.
Yeah.
Because why it is important that you need to start as a coach, need to identify which of those players have the ability. As I said, you need to be a father as a coach, because you will see, this boy not going to make it. You can see this boy not going to make it. But there's leadership in this boy. You can use him in administrative, you can use him as coaching, because not everybody going to be soccer players and soccer stars. Some of us need to be back at the where I'm sitting, be an HOD, working with people, being a coach of a team, and etc. and so on and so on. So I think we need to educate. If I need to have a vision for coaches, we need to edify and educate our local coaches. That's the important part of it. Because with there you're gonna get the numbers, and from there you're gonna get the qualities, not the quantities.
That's a good way to put it as well. Qualities, not the quantities, because at the end of the day, that is what we want. We want quality, And we want to see exponential growth as well. We want to see something happen with regards to South African and local football, to be seen as more of a force that it is, because there is the talent in terms of players, and there are the minds in terms of coaches, the minds and the work rate. And it's just something that needs to be brought out to the surface, so that you can see the country grow as a whole in that sense. And Ricardo, I want to thank you so much for spending the time to talk to us and give us the information that you did. I do believe it's very important information, and of course, it's very enlightening information as well. And I do hope to see, like in 10 years from now, I do hope to see that vision that you have for football in South Africa actually come to fruition, because it is something that we do want to see, and it's something that we're hoping for as fans of the game as well.
Yes. Thank you very much, man. And thank you for hosting me, man. Also, man.
It was wonderful. And I hope you have a lovely day. And hopefully we can do this again sometime soon.
Anytime, bro.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Bye. Thanks, bye.